Alright, it's about time on this channel that we looked at something Ubuntu-ish. I haven't done anything at all with Ubuntu, and the closest I came was Pop! OS about a year ago. So I have been remiss in this area. So I'm not going to take a look at standard Ubuntu, however, because it's just not my thing. I'm going to take a look at Ubuntu Mate. I think it's the best flavor, quote unquote, of Ubuntu. And that has a lot to do with the very great Martin Wimpress, who, although having left Canonical's employment, I understand is still in charge of the Ubuntu Mate desktop. So let's take a look. Alright, here we are. I've booted up on the live USB. So they have this welcome app, which we're not going to look at right now, because we'll look at that after installation. Let's take a look at right here on the desktop, install Ubuntu Mate. You can boot right into the installer. You don't have to boot into the desktop environment. I did, however, because I wanted to set it up for recording. Oh! I don't think I have the desktop. Whoa! I don't think I have the desktop sound set for recording. In fact, I intentionally turned it off. But I just got a blast of bells like you wouldn't believe. Okay, that's not a good start, Ubuntu Mate. This is not Windows. We don't need that. Whoa! I guess I have my volume turned up too loud, because that was shocking. Alright, back to the installer. Okay, you can read the release notes. Alright, English US is good for me. You need to choose your keyboard. English US. Very good. We're going to do a normal installation. That is correct. That's as opposed to minimal. Download updates while installing. Yes. Install third party. Yes. Certainly, since I'll be needing the nVidia drivers, I have to do that. If you need proprietary graphics drivers, then this is where it's best to install them, because then when Ubuntu boots up, it will have them already installed. Alright. Come on. It's checking out the disks. It says it's preparing Ubuntu drivers. Maybe it's doing that too. Alright, this is going. Now it's looking at the disks.
2 very boring minutes later.
Alright, that took quite a few minutes. I would say about 2 or 3 minutes to go to this next screen here, which is not a terrible deal, but somewhat surprising. Alright, now here's where you get to decide where you're going to install. If you have a operating system already installed and you want to resize that partition and install Ubuntu next to it, you'll choose the first option, install Ubuntu Mate alongside. I'm not going to do that. Erase disk and install Ubuntu Mate. That's if you're going to blow away whatever it might be on your disk and have only this Ubuntu Mate on your system. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else. Okay? That's because I already have partitions. Alright, here we go. This is my NVMe drive. And I have another test Ubuntu install right here. This is what we're going to use. So you can double click it or hit change. And we're going to use as ext4, because that's what it is. You can format that one. Alright. And the mount point is going to be root. Okay. By the way, this is all very destructive. And if you have other partitions that data is important to you, please do back up before you attempt this, because I mean, look at all these partitions here. I could easily make a mistake and hit the wrong one. I'm trying to be careful not to do that, but back up. I backed up. I cloned the entire disk before I started this, because I do care about this home partition, which we're going to use, and I do care about my Endeavor install here. So I do not want to lose them. Alright, so let's use this as home. We're going to use this also as ext4, which already is. Not going to format this one. And we're going to use that as home. Okay. And I do have a swap partition, so we'll use that as swap. I don't think you have to actually tell it that. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. How could I forget? Can't forget the important step of use as EFI. Okay. It automatically selected that. I knew there was a reason why I was glossing over that. The installer detected that I have an EFI partition and is going to go ahead and use that. You don't have to tell it. And it is not going to format it, which I wouldn't want it to do. Alright. This gives you one last chance to change your mind. Make sure you're not destroying something you don't want to be. Partition 8 is correct and 7 is swap. Those are the only two drives that are going to be formatted. That's exactly what I want. Very good. Alright. Let's continue. Alright, where are you? This is where you set your locale, and we are in New York is good for me. You can double check yours. And then next, you need to pick your username. Let's go with LEX. Computer name, you pick a unique name. Usually for either the hardware, and the installation, as I do in my case. This is an Ideapad, so I try Idea dash Mate. That will do. Username is I'm not actually going to use exactly Lex because I'm using the same home partition, and that name's already taken. So let's call this. I'm sorry, I can't use that. Lex for Mate Lex. It's a little silly, but what are you gonna do? Password. Now, as I'm sure you all know, Ubuntu does not ask you to create a root password. It never has, and I think that is a unfortunate choice, but it is what it is. Requirement password to log in, yes. Active Directory do not need, but again, like I said, if you're in an enterprise situation, that could be very useful. And now we've got the splash screen. So this will take a few minutes, and we'll be back when it's done. Alright, well that didn't take very long at all. Once we got going, it was quite quick. So we're going to restart the computer and boot up into our new installation. Alright, here we are on the desktop. First boot up. I did install OBS so that I can record this. Otherwise, I haven't done a thing. And we have a welcome screen that pops up. And I also see we have something here, software updater, that popped up. I don't usually use GUI tools to update the system, but since it's already popped up, we might as well do it. Okay, install now, yes. Let's see. Let's see what it's doing. Firefox is fine. None of this is. Let's just see. Doesn't look like it's updating the kernel just yet. Let's just install now. Alright, so while we're at it, since we're here, let's take a look at the updater settings, because this is something that I should have done probably before. Check for updates daily. Now, it really depends on your use case. I don't do that because I check for updates enough on my own. Like I said, so I don't check for updates automatically every day because it's annoying. But if you're the kind of person that forgets to check for updates, then I recommend you keep that checked. Download and install automatically. No. Well, it doesn't matter because I have it turned off. When there's security updates, let's just say display. Other updates display. Any new version, this is correct because we're on a development release, right? We're on 2104. So you're going to want to update to 2110 when it comes out. If you're on, or if you eventually get on a long-term supported release and you want to stay on it, then you would change this to long-term support versions. But it doesn't make sense to do that while you're on a development release anyway. Okay. Alright, so that's what I wanted to do with that. Now, let's take a look here. You can get, if you click this, if you go to Ubuntu software, this is your basically your app sources list control panel. And we can get, this is a nice utility, we can get a best server, right? Instead of using the default, it's always better. So you select your country and select best server. And this is sort of like Arch Reflector, if you're familiar with Arch. But this will find basically the mirror that performs best and change your app sources list accordingly so that your downloads in the future will be quicker. Alright, so this is a good thing to do. I recommend you do it. This could take a few minutes, so we'll come back when it's done. Alright, actually that was quite faster than I expected. So it's chosen the server, whatever it is. You click choose server and you will have a nice fast server. Okay. So we have main, universe, restricted, and multiverse all selected. Canonical partners. Some people use that. Okay, fine, whatever. Updates we did. Authentication, that's just keys. We don't seem like we have that many installed right now. It's weird, you'd think you'd have some. Now, additional drivers we're going to need to check, okay? Yeah, this is what I thought. No proprietary drivers are in use. And so the installer has screwed up here. Because I need the NVIDIA drivers on this system. This is bare metal hardware. This is not a VM. And I have an NVIDIA card. And why didn't it detect it? Okay, this is an Ubuntu fail. Alright, this laptop has hybrid graphics. So it has an Intel card and it has an NVIDIA card. The NVIDIA card is being used right now, so the Nouveau drivers are installed. But why doesn't it show NVIDIA? All right, let's investigate this further. Okay, this is not something I expected. Okay, Ubuntu in general and Ubuntu Mate in particular was particularly good at this. In the last few releases. In fact, I was thinking how, just today I was thinking that, where's up to date, good, how that it used to be such a real royal pain in the neck to set up a computer with hybrid graphics, NVIDIA especially, and how that's no longer the case with most distributions. And here we are, where it's not happening. Alright, so let's see here. What we can do, make this a bit bigger. So what we need, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things we could do here, but there should just be an NVIDIA what am I looking for? This one here, NVIDIA driver, and we'll pick the latest one, which seems to be 460. Let's be lazy and cut and paste. This should have done this. Need a sudo, of course. Well, let's clear the terminal. Let's do this right. All right. Sudo apt install. NVIDIA driver 460. Password. Let's see what it installs with it. Ooh, a lot of things. What I want to know is it going to install the utilities? Yes, it is. And it's installing DKMS. And the kernel. Okay, this is going to be quite a long installation. But this is correct. Alright, this is what we need. I don't know why the installer did not detect it. I can't imagine what we did wrong. couldn't have done anything wrong. Because there's no... I looked in the grub menu very specifically to see if there was an nVidia option, because some distributions will actually give you an nVidia entry in grub, so that you can boot up with the nVidia drivers already running, and then it will be sure to install them in that case as well. But Ubuntu never did it that way. They always auto-detected it. They always ran the live CD with the nouveau drivers, the free source drivers, which finally actually started working a little bit. Not great, but at least I can see the output on my screen. And then it would detect and install these nVidia drivers, what we're doing right now. That is unfortunate. I'm very, very disappointed that that Ubuntu did not detect my card. There's absolutely no reason why that would be. None. It's just a strange regression, because it was doing it fine in all of last year. Both editions did it absolutely fine. I did test that. Disappointed. Okay. Well, anyway, this is going to take quite a bit of time, so I'll be back when it's done. Alright, I just thought I'd mention, when you install DKMS, what you're doing is you're building the module for your graphics card every time you update it. So it's not the same as having it pre-built. I thought Ubuntu had them pre-built for their generic kernels, but it went right for the DKMS. Now maybe I made a mistake and I installed the wrong package. This should still work. But just to let you know, if you got DKMS going, then your updates, whenever your updates involve either updating the driver or updating the kernel, usually both, they take quite a bit of time, okay, because it has to actually go ahead and go through the process of rebuilding the image. Alright, now this is almost done here. Let's see. It says 99%. Let's see how this goes. Oh, there we go. It's done. Alright. So now let's reboot this and see if it worked. This is absolutely not what I expected to have to do, but let's see what happens. Okay, we are back. Well, that was very unfortunate. Again, I find that somewhat inexplicable. It's a regression. There's nothing else to say, because this very same hardware was detected beautifully by Ubuntu in both 2004 and 2010. And I had to install my nVidia drivers, which, hey, that wasn't that very difficult thing to do. It's fine. But it was surprising. Now, if you look up here in the top right corner, you can see the little nVidia graphics card utility is now showing like it should have been when we booted up the first time. So this is good. This means all is right with the world and everything is working perfectly well. So that's good. But I don't know why that would be. That's very strange. But anyway, now we can start our review properly, can't we? Alright, here's the welcome screen. And let's see what it's asking. Something about sending telemetry. Anonymous system information. Help the developers. I usually click yes to this. Look, you can even preview the data. It's going to show you what it's sending. So basically, it's just hardware information. Yeah. This looks all perfectly reasonable. I mean, I know some people are very sensitive about their privacy, and they might not like something like this. But I gotta be honest with you, I have no problem with this. All Linux developers, all open source developers are my friends. Giving them a little bit of extra information so that they can better serve us is certainly not something that I have any problem with. If you don't like it, don't do it. But I'm gonna send it, since this is a real machine, and I'm really going to use it. Even though it's as a test, I'm still really using it. So let's send them that data. I wouldn't if it was a VM. Alright, here we go. Here's our welcome screen. Let's see what we got here. Introduction. This is kind of nice, actually. It's a little bigger. A retrospective future. Alright, and this is basically some very nice information. Okay, alright, nice introduction. You can read. Oops. Now that's not what I wanted to do. Let's get that welcome back. There we go. We're back. Alright, so that was the introduction. You can definitely read that at your leisure. Features. Pre-configured let flexible. Built-in security. Powerful applications like Firefox. Evolution. I tell you, I'm not crazy about that. Evolution is kind of a monster. I think we'll have to remove that. LibreOffice. Rhythmbox. Shotwell for photos. Celluloid. It's very good, actually, Celluloid. And a whole lot more. Games, you can install Steam, accessibility, mobile integration. Alright, now let's hit the right button this time. Back. Getting started. Updates we already did. Let's see what it says now for drivers. Graphics. nVidia card detected. Well, no. That's a lie. You didn't detect anything. I almost said a bad word. I had to install it. But okay. Graphics are done. Wireless Bluetooth. No, that should be okay on this computer. Printer. I don't need HP. I don't have an HP printer. I'll check that out later. Software and peripherals. Solar. Logic takes you to find receiver peripherals. I don't think I really need that. Open Razor. I don't have any of those. Polychromatic. I don't have, that's more razors. Okay, we don't have that. Alright, let's just look and see what it shows you for additional drivers. Because it shouldn't say no proprietary drivers. Ah, okay. Now it says meta package. Okay, this is what it should have said the first time. What a pity. Alright, but that's at least now looking correct. Alright, so our drivers are installed. We're all good there. This is actually, I have to say, a very nice welcome screen. Very, very nice. So drivers, language and input. Do they still have that annoying language support update? Yes. Ubuntu has been doing this forever. Why don't you just install everything the language needs during the installation? Why do you do this? I'll never understand. I mean, it's things like dictionaries, but if you're installing LibreOffice and you know that it's English, just install them. Anyway, that's done. All right, Chinese, Japanese, Korean. That's actually very cool that you can do that with one click like that. Nice job, Ubuntu. Not going to do that right now, but nice job. I don't know why that keeps going back like that. Okay. Optional tasks. What would that be? Backup? Okay. Leave that alone for a moment. Network shares. I actually do have some of those, but I'm not going to bother with that right now. Don't need another user. Okay. Oh, okay. We can scroll through it this way. All right. Next, customization. Yes. Let's take a look at. Well, no, we'll get to that. Keyboard shortcuts. We'll get to that. What's inside my computer? Oh, nice. Okay. Let's go back. Community. We all know Ubuntu has a very nice community. Ubuntu Mate, especially. Like I mentioned, Martin Wimpy is a hell of a guy, a terrific human being, and I think he should be supported. Join Wimpy's World on Discord. There it is. Wimpy put himself in the distribution. I love it. Now, this software thing, I'm suspicious. because this is the boutique, okay? And the boutique is mostly snap packages, and we'll talk about that a bit later. Get involved. Okay, we know what that's about. Shop. What is shop? Oh, shop. It really means shop. You can get your Ubuntu Mate paraphernalia. I love it. That's kind of nice, actually. Donate. We know where that's going. Browser selection. Well, Firefox is already installed. It says default. Chromium. These must be snaps. I know for sure Chromium is a snap because that's what caused the big. That's what caused the big furor. Opera Volley. Okay, so it's interesting that they put this in the welcome screen, but that's kind of nice. Color selection. Interesting. Well, I actually want to theme it. Don't they have the themes here? Well, let's go ahead and go dark. All right. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. You can change the theme at any time by clicking the appearance. Let's click appearance. This is what I thought. Usually the welcome screen gives you all of this. All right. It says custom. That doesn't mean anything. I believe we are running the Yaru theme, the Yaru Mate Dark, this one. But they've got quite a bit of others. This is very nice. Very nice. Okay. You can change your wallpaper. So let's pick a somewhat darker wallpaper since we are on a dark theme. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Okay. Fonts. You can change the fonts. I'm not going to do that just right now. Interface, show icons. Show icon button. Okay, this is all very good stuff. All right, let's close that for now. All right, so that looks like we have exhausted. Oh no, one more. We've got desktop layout. Okay, so this is going to be, let's show them all here. This is going to be your different theming for the interface, right? Like right now we have this one, which is sort of a whisker menu type thing here. It says familiar, default experience. Mutiny. Oh no, that's very Unity-ish. Okay. Redmond, we can just skip right over that. Cupertino, I think that's their Mac. Yes, this is a Mac OS clone type thing. Traditional's probably the one I'm going to go for because I really like places, application places. Although then you don't get. Let's see. Let's reserve judgment here. Let's check out contemporary. You get that again. Okay, this is very close to familiar. In fact, it doesn't look that different. It's a slight difference. And familiar, this looks a little bigger. We have a Firefox icon. And in contemporary, no Firefox icon. That's about the only difference I can see. Netbook, I think we can skip that. What's Pantheon? Okay, this is similar to Cupertino. Alright. I mean, you can choose here whatever you like, obviously. I like this menu bar. Alright. I'll keep that. I'll keep that for now. Of course, you can make your own choices. Alright, open when I log on. I think we can uncheck that finally and close this guy. Alright, that's starting to look like something. It's absolutely starting to look like something.
few moments later.
Alright, I just did a sneaky little reboot. I'm going to put my hat on because it's getting a little chilly in here. Because I was getting some weird icon things going on up here in these indicator applets. I had the network applet appearing twice, which I don't understand, although I did do an update and not reboot, so we'll give that one a pass. But let's take a look at these applets, because this is fairly new, and I mean within the past months, not just to this distribution, but this is something that Mate and upstream developers have been working hard on. So here's, look at this functionality in OBS that's running right now. Here's Bluetooth. This I showed you before is the nVidia Optimus graphical interface. There's network. This looks like NM applet, of course. Here's your notifications. Do not disturb. That's nice. Battery, because this is a laptop. Okay. Very good. Sound settings. Alright, let's check that. So here's where you can turn off those damn sounds. Okay, that's what we want to do. What this utility is this is basically the Ubuntu version of the Pavu audio control. It's mostly the same. It's not going to give you tremendous control, but it's going to give you pretty good control. And if you need more control than that, you should be using Jack anyway. But that's a subject for another video. Alright. Now, just take a couple of more looks here. I want to take a look at the keyboard shortcuts, because I understand that they have some pseudo tiling built in. So let's open up a couple of, alright, let's open up the file manager. Let's just open up a couple of things. Alright, so we have some windows. Alright, move between windows immediately. Alt Escape. As opposed to Alt Tab, which gives you a switcher. Alt Escape. And you, okay, that's something. Let's see. I don't, oh, so this is a Control Alt D just shows the desktop. I'm bringing it back. Okay. This is all standard variety stuff. Switch to workspace 1 disabled. No, you need to use these. Let's use mod 1 for workspace 1. Mod 2. Mod 3. And mod 4. Right? Alright. So let's say I take this and I move it to workspace 4. Alright, now I hit mod 4, and there we are, mod 1. We're back on desktop 1, mod 4. Right? Now what I really want is to be able to move this to a workspace. So they have move current window to workspace. There we go. Move window to workspace. Alright. So yes, we want that. So this is going to be mod shift 1. Move to workspace 2, mod shift 2. Move to workspace 3, mod shift 3. Move window to workspace 4, mod shift 4. These are the kind of shortcuts I'm used to. Whoops, I didn't mean to exit that, but okay, we'll get it back. So I do mod shift 4. It moved it over to 4, and then I just hit mod 4, and there we are. Mod shift 1, mod 1. Okay. Now, the really cool thing would be to move it to the workspace and move to that workspace. But I might be getting a little greedy, expecting that from a really not a window manager, but a desktop and full desktop environment. All right, let's continue. Switch to workspace to the left. Control Alt left. All right, so it switches workspaces. There we go. Tile window to the east. Mod right. There we go. Mod left. Mod up. Mod up is full screen. Mod down is back. Alright. So if we go to here, mod left. And come on, stop that. Go here, mod right. Okay. Let's go back to the keyboard. Now, what if I do this? It just goes on top of it. All right. But as you can see, you get some pseudo tiling action, which is not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, they put, by the way, they put the this theme puts the buttons on different side there. Anyway, there's a lot of keyboard shortcuts you can fool around with. There's Mate Tweak. Oh, let's see what we have here. Desktop, you can show desktop icons or not. You can also mess with your panel theme here. Windows, window control placement left. Oh, look, there it is. Right. Yeah, okay. This is pretty good. So very nice Ubuntu tweaking. So real quick, let's just take a look at what we've got here. In accessories, we've got backups. I think they use Deja Dupe or something like that. Deja Dupe, yep, there it is. Deja Dupe for backups, that's probably pretty fine. I like Time Shift, but I think Deja Dupe is probably really for your data. Time Shift is more for your system. Alright. The usual things here. Plank. Pluma is the text editor. It's not a bad text editor as far as your generic graphical text editors go. Pluma is one of the better ones. Administration, printers, nVidia, of course. Software updates, boutique. Oh yeah, so by the way, just to show you what's going on, what is happening. Let's do an LSBLK. That will show you. Look at this. Look at what we've got here. Okay? You see all these loops? These are snaps. Okay? Now I know in a modern system, we're not talking about huge numbers of RAM, right? 55 megabytes, 32, 22. I understand that. But, man, I just don't understand why they're going this direction. You have things like the Yarrow icon theme is a snap. So if you want to remove your snaps and purge your system of snaps, which I might want to do, then you can't use the Yarrow theme anymore. Not happy about that. The welcome application is a snap. The software boutique is a snap, but I wouldn't use that anyway because that's I think that only installs snaps. So your theme and your icons are a snap. That's just crazy to me. By the way, since I'm talking about the boutique, what you should do, sudo apt install synaptic, regardless of password, regardless of, and hit yes, regardless of what version of Ubuntu you're on, or Debian for that matter. You should always install Synaptic Package Manager. Alright, because if you need to have this always pop up first time, if you need to have a graphical program to help you install things, there's really nothing that beats Synaptic. It's certainly better than anything else available in Ubuntu. It's just nice. You can go ahead and here and you can search for any. Let's search for Kdenlive, and then you can see here you would get your Kdenlive video editor. Now this is going to be the deb, okay? Synaptic is a front end for apt. So the only exception that I know of is Chromium. Right? If you search for Chromium If you install this Chromium browser, at least it tells you transitional package, Chromium browser to Chromium Snap. Okay? Even though you're using apt, right, whether it's Synaptic or in the command line, to install Chromium, you're going to get a snap. That was a decision that was made, and it's kind of a strange one. But, hey, you know, like I think I said before, I'm not in the habit of criticizing open source developers, okay? It's been said, I don't honestly believe it, but it's been said by Canonical that they're using these snaps as a time and money saving strategy, right? That they only have to build Chromium once, and then they can use it for all of their flavors and distros and versions, etc., etc. That may be true, and therefore I'm not going to criticize, because how many millions and millions has Mark Shuttleworth put into Ubuntu? The man can spend his money the way he wants, right? He's put all of his time and effort into making a distribution that really has changed the face of Linux. I can't say, how could you do this? But be that as it may, having said that, I'm not into it, okay? I will probably go ahead and if we do snap list, it'll say, you know, you get that basically that same thing. I'll probably wind up uninstalling these and purging snap just because that's what I'm going to do. I could do it now, put it in as part of the tutorial, except I think that's a bit of an overkill. Most of you probably don't care about that so much. So, okay. We'll leave that for another video, okay? I'm still troubled by the fact that my graphics card wasn't automatically detected. That's a major fail. I mean, that is a show-stopping bug, right? If you are a user, you have a new user to Linux, to Ubuntu, they don't know what's going on, just that their graphics card's not working, they're probably not going to take the time to figure out that, oh, I can just install my drivers and be done with it. They're going to say, well, what other distribution is there? Right? Most people, when they're new to Linux, don't try to solve their problems. They just distro hop until they find one that works, and then they stick with it. This is, you know, human nature, okay? Those of us who like to fiddle and tinker, we're not going to do that. We're going to figure things out. But you can't, if you're a distro that's aimed at new users, and all of the Ubuntu flavors certainly are, you can't have that kind of a bug. I mean, come on, this is Lenovo ThinkPad. If you can't find the hardware on that, you got a problem. Okay, so that was a big disappointment. I just don't know what else to say. That's got to be fixed. It's got to be fixed. I will look on Launchpad and see if there's any sort of bug report that matches that, and I will file my experience. Other than that, Ubuntu is a nice looking distribution, and it was a very easy, hassle-free installation. And a lot of people do like that. You guys know I like to fiddle with Arch and etc. But that's a whole different world, right? That's for people who like to build their system from the ground up. Maybe you're not. Maybe you want to just install it and go. It works. It looks nice. I'm happy. Well, then I would recommend Ubuntu Mate. Absolutely. It's much lighter than the standard version of Ubuntu. You can also try KDE, which is also very light these days. Ubuntu really is a pretty good distribution, snaps notwithstanding. Alright, so if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you would like and or subscribe. And check out the link below where you can see a write-up for this video, in addition to other videos and hopefully helpful tutorials. Until next time, this has been the Linux Experience XYZ.